Hey YouTubers, long time no see. I got no excuse other than I was sick as a dog for, gosh, over a week. I mean, I had the nastiest cold you can imagine. So that was part of it, and I just didn't have any energy. And during the middle of this cold, unfortunately, I had a recurrence of a condition that I have, and it's called recurrent corneal erosion. And that's what this video is going to be about, is the fun of recurrent corneal erosion, and I'm going to call it RCE from now on. Basically what this is a condition of the eye where occasionally, luckily for me it's not all that often, it's every few weeks or so, with a bad one every quarter, but it's where a portion of what's called the epithelial layer of your eye, the epithelium, usually while you're asleep, I guess it sticks to your eyelid a little bit and gets torn away. So this feels bad, and the best way that I can describe it is it's like having a piece of sand right on the front of your eye. You know how if you're used to contacts or whatever, you can kind of touch the sclera, that's the white part of your eye, you can kind of touch that, it's not too bad. If you get up onto that clear spot where your iris is, that starts to hurt. Well, just imagine that right in the center, and you can't do anything about it. That's what it feels like. Or it feels like somebody's put their finger on your eye. So in these episodes, with me anyway, they can last from a few hours where it hurts for an hour or two and then goes away. Or it can be many hours, like it could hurt an entire day. For some other people, they may have it worse. The vision effect, if it's right over my pupil, sometimes that can screw up my vision for several days, and that's what happened this last time. It was hard for me to work at a computer and not get sort of distracted by the fact my right eye was having a lot of haze and aberration and that sort of thing. So, like I said, I'm pretty fortunate because it doesn't happen all that often. A little bit of a diagram here. What I'm talking about is this is your cornea right here, and it's over your iris, and usually the skin will sort of tear away. I've just got these little marks here. Sometimes it's right over the pupil, and that's what the way this last one was for me. And I literally could not see out of this eye. I mean, I could see light, but it was like looking through a soft focus filter on a camera or looking through gauze. If I closed my left eye, I could not read anything through my right eye. So that little bit of, there's clear skin kind of up here, and that tears away. And it can happen just about anywhere. Now with me it happens in both eyes. Luckily it's never happened badly in both eyes at the same time. But you see these little X's here. That's, you know, it can happen, that's generally where we're talking about, or right over the pupil. Now the thing about this is it's not life-threatening. It's not really vision threatening unless you get an infection or something. So there's not really a lot of medical help for this thing. There's a few procedures that can be done. They're not guaranteed to work, and I'll just tell you, go look them up. I can't remember the names of them, but if you're interested in this, or if you have RCE, you might want to look around. I have opted not to do any of these surgeries because they're not guaranteed to work, and they sound extremely painful. And the RCE occurrences that I have generally are pretty manageable. What I want to do now is share, for those of you that are kind of found this video because you're suffering from RCE or you think you might be. First off, this isn't medical advice. I'm just going to tell you what works for me. You need to see your ophthalmologist and talk to them about it. But I'm going to share what has worked for me. The first thing that I think with me causes an RCE episode is that I'm dehydrated. And so I try to drink a lot of water all the time. And if I get to the end of the day and I feel like I didn't have enough water, like let's say it's 8 o'clock and I go to bed at 10, I start slamming water like crazy. I don't have strong, statistical basis for this, but I can say that the times that it's been bad, I've been able to look over the prior day and go, yeah, I actually didn't drink enough water. I was out in the wind, I was outside, and I didn't drink enough, or whatever. So to me, that's one thing. I haven't, that I can recall, read anything online that says that specifically. This is a theory of mine, and maybe I'm wrong about having seen this online. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure this is my own hypothesis. So hydration, that can help prevent it, I think. Another thing that I do to help prevent it, and this was a suggestion from my ophthalmologist, is I use a salve called Muro 128 ointment. You want the ointment, not the drops. And your ophthalmologist will tell you, or you ask them about it and let them, say, yeah, give that a shot. It's basically like Vaseline, and it's got a saline in it, or salt, basically, sodium chloride in it. And I guess the idea there is it's supposed to help the epithelial layer stay attached. The way I look at it is it's lube. I want to lubricate my epithelium so that my eyelid doesn't stick to it. So I put this goop in every night. It comes in a little bitty tube. It costs a fortune. And you just kind of put it in there, and I like to sort of warm it up and get it moved around. And then I kind of try to make sure I get it under my eyelids and all that good stuff. And after you put it in, you can't see a thing. But anyway, I think that has probably reduced the frequency and possibly reduced the intensity of most of my corneal erosions. That's not a certainty, that's just my theory. I notice that my eyes tend to dry out when I'm sleeping, especially if I'm laying on my back. It's almost like the tears just run down my eyes. So I think this stuff kind of helps to keep your eyes lubricated a little bit. The third thing is, if you have an RCE and it's really bugging you, this may sound like the last thing you want to do, but in my experience, taking a hot, steamy shower brings me a lot of relief. I don't know exactly what it is. Is it just the humidity in the air in the shower? Is it just that it kind of relaxes you? And these things, if you've had an RCE episode, it will tense you up because it hurts like hell and there's nothing you can do. So if you can get in the shower, I've found, for me, most of the time, that gives me a lot of relief. It doesn't take it away, but it'll knock off 25% of the pain, maybe 50% of the pain. It won't last forever, but it lasts for a little while. So that's something to keep in mind. The next thing is, and this sounds a little crazy, when it's really killing you, one thing I'll do is, those of you who've had it, if you blink, it hurts like hell. You can't leave your eye open, you can't close it, you can't blink it, it all hurts. One thing that I do when my eye's tearing a lot is I'll actually sort of let my eye tear and I just leave it open and I look down and I try to get that tear over the part of my eye that's injured. And I'll just leave my eye open for a long time because it's tearing so much you don't have to blink, and it's like that little drop of tear that's hanging there protects your eye from the air and kind of gives you a little bit of relief for a little while. It's not anything permanent, it's not something you can do for a long time, but it's just something to try. I do that sometimes to give myself some relief. The next thing is, and the ophthalmologist probably won't like this, but if it's really killing you, what I've gotten in the habit of doing is I'll go to my ophthalmologist, ask him how it looks. And for him to check how it looks, he's going to put dye in your eye. And before he puts the dye in your eye, he's going to put a numbing drop in your eye. And guess what? It's awesome. You don't feel it anymore. So, and that lasts for a few hours. And that might be long enough to get you out from under the incredible acute pain that happens at the beginning. Now, I've asked my eye doctor, could you hook me up with some of these drops? And he says, no, I can't. Besides which, if you take them too often or if you use them too often, it'll soften your epithelial layer and that'll make the problem worse. My reaction is kind of like, yeah, I would only do this when I'm having something I can't stand. I wouldn't do it every day or anything. It doesn't matter. You can't get them. I hope that they can someday release something that's perhaps much lighter, or very light percentage dose of these drops, and let us get it over the counter, or let us get it with a prescription. That would really be nice. So anyway, that is sort of a review of what my last couple of weeks have been like. I've had a cold and I had a really nasty RCE, and so I've got some things in the works photographically. I may share with you a lens test that I did. It's the Sony 70 to 400 millimeter zoom. I tried it out. I'm not sure I'm going to go for it, but I took some pictures and I think I may just show them in case people are interested. What else do I have? I have some headphone stuff I need to talk about, and that's about it for now. So thanks for sticking with me this long. If you're not an RCE sufferer, if you are, you probably are still here, and I hope you'll try some of these things. If you have ideas, share them back, comment on the video, and I'd really appreciate that, so that if people find this video, they'll also see your comment. And I wish you painless eyes. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later.